I am Mr. Rexon Padilla from Dunya Central Elementary School. My topic today is about digital discernment. So, this is the question. Do you know the person next to you? How much do you trust him or her in a scale of 1 to 10? 10 is being the highest. If he or she tells you something right now, would you trust what she or he is saying is true? What makes you trust him or her? Okay, thank you. So next, okay, so we will reverse the question. Why don't you trust the person next to you? Okay, at the scale of 1 to 10, being 10 is the highest, uh, please rate the trust rating to that person beside you. Okay, thank you. Now, how about this one? Let's link the discussion to the online scenario. How about this one? Do you trust what you see and hear online? Okay, very good. So kung nagapati agad bala sa mga nakita mo kag mabatian online, how much people trust what you say online? Sample may i-post ka sa online, sa Facebook, sa Twitter. Nagapati agad bala sila sa imo? Okay, so raise your hand if you have more than 500 friends on Facebook. How about 1,000? How about 2,000? Now, raise your hand if you have a fun page. Who is the who has the most followers among you here, especially in your Facebook account? Why do you think people follow you? Just think about it. Now, is everything you say true? Is everything you say a fact? So how will you describe a fact? These are the characteristics of facts. So number one, information of something that existed or exists. It is information that is true and can be proven. If information is true, okay, so the information is true no matter what. Okay, so next. We have an activity. For example, I will show you here this one. This is shades or sunglasses. Fact or opinion? What do you think? Okay, very good. How about this one? How about this one? This is a calling card. Okay. So of course, it is a fact that this is a calling card. How about this one? This is a stick. Of course, this is a fact. So, how about this one? I don't like bananas. What do you think? Is it a fact or opinion? So next, this is the whitest paper in the world. Okay, so this is an opinion. So another is we have an activity. So the same lang activity ta. Now we have know the difference among three. Let's play a little game of fact or false. Here are hypothetical examples of false news we encountered recently. So, ang muli ko no, we have here a scenario a scenario, and as I read this, and then you will answer if it is fact, opinion, or false information. So number 1, a celebrity not showing in regular show rumored to be pregnant. This refers to Kat Bernardo. What is it? Fact, false, or fact, opinion, or false information? Okay, number 2. There is a plant that cures cancer. Fact, opinion, or false information? Okay, number 3. The big one earthquake happening in March 2017. Fact, opinion, or false information? So we have number 4. Terror attacks in malls. Stay away. Again, terror attacks in malls. Stay away. Fact, opinion, or false information? So, what are your answers? So we say, okay, what are your answers here? All the answers here are false. So, sino nagsabat? Ka-false na ng sabat. Okay, palakpakan sila. Okay, now, so another activity, fake news online. So, if you want to, I want you to discuss as a group or nominate a speaker, then share that information you have read online that you think is false. Ma-meeting ka mo, kumbaga ma-discuss ka mo about the magrupo-grupo per school, and then try to discuss it. May isa lang ka representative magambal or isa ka masulat or writer, and then i-discuss nyo kung ano ang mga false information or fake news nga nabasahan ninyo. So let's seg out. So as we have heard, how many in the room have different feelings, or sa inyo dyan na betis man anta nga we have different opinions regarding the fake news that you have read. So it's difficult to know what is true and what is not true nowadays, because everything is manipulated by the media, by some other people who wanted to create the mass hysteria or whatever. So so let's discuss this. So sometimes it might feel an argument will go in circles and we don't know where we are going. So nagabais lang kita nagabais. Wait ka balukod din ang puno o punta, nagalibot lang kita nagalibot. Wait katapusan nga baisay. So another, sometimes both sides say things that we agree on. It gets even harder to see or decide on where we stand. Because nga parihas man lang para sa aton to. What? Example labi parihas man lang to, wag natin dugan mo nga do. Parihas man lang to nga ang point of view sa isa do ginapatihan naman, do hindi mo na mabalaan kung diin ka ma-decide, kung diin ka nga stand. So another, sometimes it can get confusing to know if someone is trying to trick us, or if we are just looking at things differently, or we are just trying to protect ourselves. So what usually happens, and the easiest thing to do, is to blame others or start hating and saying bad things. And we say this a lot online. Siyempre kung isa nag-post kita malain sa online, kung nag-post kita nga na isay sa online, and then pas kita nakita sa mga feedbacks sa mga post sa Facebook nga ang mga nag-post nagabir na isay. So that is magadong, I think that's bad. So which brings us to the next point. Okay, can everyone say perspective? So can anyone tell me what perspective means? So to help understand what it means, I will flash to you the following slides to show a few pictures. When I show the picture, I want you to be completely quiet and just look at the pictures. I'm going at the count of 3. At the same time, I want everyone to shout as they see the pictures. Are you ready? So here we go. So number 1, mango. So ano nakita nyo? Mango. So another, oranges. Number 3, buko. Number 4, fourth picture. Okay, that's a rabbit or a duck. Number 5, it would be an old lady or a young lady. Number 6, it is a bird based on the picture. Then we reverse the picture. What's that? It becomes an island. So how about this one? While we are looking at the same picture, why do we have different views of the same picture? Paglantaw taplanto isa ka picture nga to isa naglilain ng different ng aton interpretation of that picture. What do you think? Okay, now that is what we call perspective. We have different kinds of view or point of view about a certain topic, a certain picture, a certain scenario, or whatever. So, understanding perspective is understanding where we are coming from and where others are coming from when we say or when they say something. Okay? Again, understanding perspective is understanding where we coming from and where others are coming from when they say something. So, and from that place, we are looking from. So, when we have two different perspective or point of views, how do we know which one is true? Which one is false? Which one do we believe? Ever wonder why is it so easy for us to believe something? And why it's so easy to reject others? When it is easy, when is it hard? Why do we easily believe the things that we see online? Okay, let's sag out. It's important to start thinking about about the way we think and start developing our minds as good thinkers. What do you think influence our thoughts, beliefs and decisions? What do you think are the answers sa mga nag-influence sa aton ng paminsaron, the thoughts, beliefs, and decisions? What do you think? There are 3. Okay? First, friends. Next, family. And school. These are some factors that help shapes our thoughts, opinions, emotions, and actions. These factors are usually the people and institutions that surrounds us. These same factors become part of what affect our emotions and contribute into developing our core values. All of this contribute to the way we think and respond to different situations. Now, well, okay, these all affect how we react online. Ang aton yung thoughts, the way we think, the way we uh, the way we think, the way we, what do we call this? Our beliefs and decisions. So, ano na siya? So, as a recap, know the difference among facts, opinions, and false information. Understand what perspective is, and the factors that affect our perspectives. Now, there are three types of false information that we can encounter online. Type 1, intentionally contains contains false information, normally found in political articles, political cartoons with speech bubbles, a false news quoting a politician giving negative remarks about sensitive issues. That's type 1. Type 2, clickbait headlines used in marketing strategies. For example, example of this are, so how do we remove fat in 5 days? Detox. So that is what we call clickbait headlines. The type 3, overly dramatic headlines found in showbiz website. So we have your example, sick, again, sick. Cops in Miami kill man who was eating another guy's face. So another, what is the impact of sharing false news or spreading misinformation? Impact to myself, to the people attached to the post in their environment, to the people that posted it, and their environment. What do you think is the impact of that? Posting or sharing false news. So let's discuss. The following are some tips from Facebook that helps us. Tip number one, be skeptical of the headlines. So when we are skeptical, when we say skeptical, doubtful, that would be doubtful. Let's be doubtful of the headlines. Once we have seen, makita tabi ang mga headlines yung medyo makaduruda, so that's already a false news or fake news. Tip number two, investigate the source. So when I say source, that's the URL plus the body. Another tip number 3, consider the photos. So we have 3. First, again, let's recap. Tip number 1 from Facebook to identify if it is a false news or fake news. Tip number 1, be skeptical of headlines. Number 2, investigate the source, URL plus the body. Tip number 3, consider the photo. Okay, so next slide. Become a skilled critical thinker. Someone who knows how to identify facts, opinions, and false information. How do we become critical thinkers? Number 1, you must choose to be one. Number 2, start developing your brain muscles and practice thinking critically. The more you practice, the more you get better at it. Remember to always ask questions. Don't easily accept information, especially if it does not sit well with you. Don't forget to observe and investigate. Make sure you use the 3 steps we discussed earlier. Ang sa Facebook bala nga tips na to. So, recall tell what? Number 1, be skeptical of the headlines. Number 2, investigate the source, the URL plus the body. Number 3, consider the photos. And we have here number 4, and most importantly, as we understand how difficult it can be in the critical thinkers, or as we understand how difficult it can be to be critical thinkers, we must also understand how difficult it can be for others around us, many of which do not know what critical thinking is. Therefore, it is very important to practice empathy. It is important we find ways to understand the point of view of others in order to have better connection with other people, the communities, and the world. Now, to close this session, we have a challenge to you. Go back to your small groups and discuss these questions. Now, as teachers of the online age, or mambalitabi, professionals, as professionals on the online age, what can you do to stop spread of false news? Again, as professionals of the online age, what can you do to stop the spread of false information? So we have here addition. So addition lang niya because some other especially during our pandemic times, that happened in March. A lot of false news appeared in social media, especially sa mga iban nga ni mga professionals, mga kabataan, nag-post nga for example like this one. This is one of the topics nga na basahan ko to. So ang bala sila ay ang China virus, ang virus kuno halin sa China. That's why nga medyo nag-controversial ato nga bagay, ang mga topiko. Kaya mga iban gani nga mga tao nag-send na sang mga balita ginimo lang sing iban nga sa iban kuno nga lugar ang mga karamatay to kuno duro dun. Tinagapanik ang mga tao nga nakabasa. So, para sa ako, na-guilty man ako. Ngayon, siyempre, way kita singimo nga muna mo. Baga na mag-guilty ka man. Kaya iban to, siyempre na ako, to kumbaga, para sa ako pang na-guilty sa ginubra nila. Even though nga way ko yung nagpamasa sa to, kaya ako nakabasa mo. So muna dapat I think we need to be more critically thinker. We should be critical thinkers nga para ma-analyze ta kung ano man ang fake news. Kaya isang iba hindi ta mapaktan, iba naga-send, iba share sa mga false news, mga fake news, mga which is dapat hindi. So dapat responsable kita sa aton nga mga actions regarding sa aton sa Facebook, because Facebook ari na siya kumbaga it is a reality, ari na siya sa palibot, hindi ta na malikuan, hindi ta na muntat, kaya kung mauntat ni damo na niyang problema nga matabok dura na reklamo. So we should be dapat mangin kita aware, dapat mangin vigilant, hindi kita sagi pang send sa mga picture pang send sa mga fake news na ginatawag na. Kaya ang fake news nagatugal na sang depression. Katulad sang gin-discuss sa first day naton sa may aton nga first topic bala to about depression sa division office. So cause ng depression, kita nga dahil nga maestra, depressed na kita, stress na kita, multitask na nga gusto grabe ang multitasking ta. So hindi ta na pagdugangan sa mga muna, kaya nagadugang na sang kulba sa aton. So that is only an advice. So thank you very much for listening. So that ends my topic today. Merry Christmas and advance Happy New Year sa tanan.